welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I have my sister here and we are doing her nails and getting them in tip-top shape just so they look nice for her baby shower. Sorry. So she hasn't had nails on for a while, so I went ahead and pushed back her cuticles off camera, and then I am now prepping with a fine sanding band. And I'm just going to go ahead and do all 10 fingers. I am just going to be going ahead and doing one hand for the sake of the time of the video. And you guys don't have to watch too much of me doing the same thing to the other hand. But now I'm just going to go ahead and go in with this cuticle bit. This is my holy grail, you guys. You guys can see it on my Amazon storefront. If you guys do want to purchase this bit is the bomb. It makes your nails last so much longer. And yeah, no lifting in whatsoever. Honestly, highly recommend this bit. This method that I am using is pretty much, I feel like all my clients, they have no lifting until they get up to like past 5 weeks. Then that's when their nails start to come off. And I do have some clients that are able to go longer. They're able to go 6 weeks instead of just the typical 2 weeks or maybe 1 week if you are going into a walk-in salon. And so I went ahead and clipped her cuticles, and now I'm going to go ahead and get my KDS glue, and I am just going to go ahead and put them on. This glue, I do want to let you guys know that it is a little bit on the runnier side, so you don't need a whole bunch, just because if you do end up putting a whole bunch, it takes longer to dry, and I don't know, I feel like it ends up moving too much, but I mean, it gets the job done. So with that being said, of course, I am going to use the remainder of the ones that I have, but I think after I am done with these glues, I am going to be switching on over. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these coffin tips and size her and making sure that they go from sidewall to sidewall. If you guys are a beginner nail tech, the best way to do this is put your tip up against one side and press it down and see if it reaches over to the other side. That means that you have the best size for that nail. And you guys could see me doing it right here in this clip where I did end up having to actually put the tip back. And now I'm just going to go ahead and get that bigger size and put this one on. Sometimes they are in the middle of tips, but basically I recommend going in with a little bit of a larger tip, because if you go in with a little bit of a larger tip, you're able to file the rest of that tip off and just get rid of that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my nail form. I am just going to go ahead and size her nails. And I am making sure that they are all at the 3. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get a coarser sanding band, but if you guys do this, please make sure you guys are not filing their natural nails. You are just blending that plastic tip, and that is it. The reason why you really want to do the corners of the tips is because if not, with colored acrylic, it is going to pop out on the side, and you're going to be able to see that. And you don't want to see that just because it looks like as if you missed the color on her nails and things like that, and it's just not a good look. And then I'm going to go ahead and dust off. And then I like to keep on going back. If I do see some cuticle that is bothering me, I always go back and make sure to just clip them off and get rid of them. Now I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate twice and prime twice. You guys, if you guys are using this method, please let me know if it is helping you. Just because this method that I use, it does really help the nails stay on for a very long time, and you're not going to have clients that have lifting and feel like their nails come back and just fall off really fast. So definitely recommend try this method out. This is my method that I've been using for a very long time. When I do the primer, sometimes I do like to kind of like get it in there and kind of scrub it into the nail bed, making sure I am getting in any of those nooks and crannies that I might have missed. I know times it can settle inside the cracks, but I just like to make sure I am very thorough when it comes to my prep, and I'm getting everything nice and in there. Cuticles up out of the way, the nail beds are nice and prepped, and yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and go in with my monomer. I am using MONTAGE's monomer, And I am using their milk white, you guys. I love, love, love their milk white. If you guys are somebody who does use Young Nails monomer, honestly, I feel like their brands work hand in hand. So if you are somebody who's like weary about getting this brand and you use a different monomer, just because I know trying out everyone's monomer, it can be expensive. And that is something that I have actually been doing in the last year, is checking out all the really known monomers that everybody's been using and seeing which one I like the best and which one works for me. But so I'm going to go ahead and just I do the 2-bead method. Sometimes I will do the 1-bead method on shorter nails. But to have more control, definitely I recommend doing a 2-bead if you aren't too familiar with this. Even if you have to do a 3-4 bead, as long as your application is nice and clean and you're not flooding the cuticles, I feel like it will make your job so much easier as a nail tech. This one I am going in and I am going to be blending that one. I want it to be very thin up at the top and a little bit thicker at the bottom, just so then I don't have to go in with so much clear. But you don't want to make this nail super thick. And I'm making sure I'm keeping this sidewalls nice and tight and that is not losing its shape whatsoever, just because there's a reason why I get the tips that I get. It's because they're already shaped, and it does require me to do very minimal shaping at the end. So of course, if I'm going to be spending around $25 on some tips, I do definitely want to keep the shape of them and work smarter and not harder. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing that I did to that pointer finger. I'm going to go ahead and do on the pinky. I'm making sure I'm keeping it nice and thin up top and having it a little bit thicker and keeping that shape by keep on patting the sides or sliding my brush along the sides. And I even use the side of my brush and I pat the very edge of it just to make sure that the tip is nice and straight. And the pinky and the pointer finger, those are going to be ombre nails, so that is why I emphasize how thin I want it. And now on this one, I am going to be doing a marble. The marble is super pretty. You could dip first into your clear acrylic and then go into the white, or you could just do one at a time. It's definitely totally up to you. There's so many different ways of doing marble and the different types of look that you're trying to get. So definitely recommend trying out a few different ones and seeing if that is something that you guys like to do. But once you are done with this, you guys are going to want to cap it all in white. I mean, all in clear, sorry. But now I'm going to go ahead and get the Bumblebee foil. They do have a nail supply over in Pomona, and I believe they have one also in Fontana. So if you guys are looking to find a really cool nail supply place, I highly recommend checking them out. They are a family-owned business, and the people are very sweet there and knowledgeable about the products, and they do have their own brand, which is Bumble and Bumble, but they do also have, what is it? They have like Kiara Sky, they have, I don't think they have Valentino, but I do know that they have Not Polish and things like that there. So definitely recommend checking them out along with their own brand as well. Their own brand is really good as well. I have some of their reflective polishes and I really like those. So yeah, definitely recommend checking it out. They have great stuff. So now I am just going to go ahead and cap this nail in clear after I'm done putting those foils on. And you could pretty much put the foils on top of wet acrylic or not. I feel like they tend to stick fine. Sometimes what I'll do is actually slide my brush across the top of the nail before I put the foils on, just so they stick a little bit better. They have something to grab to. Just because sliding your wet monomer brush across the top, I do feel like it does also have, it wets the acrylic and it makes it a little bit tacky. Alright, and then now I'm going to go ahead and place my bead by the cuticle area and walk it back up towards the cuticle and then drag it back down and blend it. And I'm cleaning off the sidewalls of her nails and patting everything into place. And then I am going to go ahead and do this one. I am doing it a solid milk white color. So something that I do want to mention, if you guys are having trouble with your guys' acrylic and you guys are a beginner nail tech, I've said it in other videos before, but I do want to say it again, is that when you are working in a very, very cold environment and the temperature is below 60, I definitely recommend making sure your area is nice and warm, just because if you guys are working inside of a garage or you're working inside of just a cold room in general, your acrylic is not going to set right. I've heard where other nail techs, if it's too cold in the room and the product is not setting right, they will put a drop of acetone inside of their monomer. I have yet to try that, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a little bit sketch about mixing products like that. So that's the only reason, kind of why I don't, but I've heard of nail techs them doing it. And yeah, so do what you wish with that information. Let me know if you guys have tried that. Let's have a conversation about it down below. So if you guys have tried that, please let me know and let others know, just because it does really help with other people that are on their nail journey. Alright, now I'm trying to make sure that everything is nice and pretty, and then I'm going to be adding acrylic where I feel like it is needed. I still needed to do the acrylic near the cuticle area, and so I'm just going to go ahead and try to make sure it is nice and even, and it's blending really, really nice into the cuticle and into the rest of the nail. Now it is time to do the Desert Rose. Desert Rose is a really, really pretty nude. This one, it does pretty much go with everything, I feel like. If you're looking for that very, very light, subtle nude kind of color, I definitely recommend checking that one out. Sorry, you guys, my camera did cut out and died, so you were only able to see me blend one acrylic or one ombre nail, and then I did end up actually capping it in clear, just because if you don't cap it in clear, chances are all of that work that you went and you did in the ombre, it is just going to completely go away just with your filing and trying to make the nail even. So it will end up actually making the ombre not look as seamless and beautiful. So now with my drills, I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is nice and even. I have been trying to use my drill more while I am working with nails, just to try to make it a little bit faster, but I always end up going back to my hand file. I love my hand file. But you guys could see how clean I laid the acrylic. I don't have to go too much in with my file. I just like to make sure everything is nice and even. So if there's some uneven spots, of course, I am just going to go ahead and even it out. But for the most part, her nails are super, 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 they're already super, super even and things like that. So that is why I definitely recommend with application, you are making sure that everything is nice and seamless. I know when you're a beginner, it is really, really hard, because I even struggled with it when I was a beginner. My application was nothing what it is today. So it does take time and practice. So be patient with yourself. Something that somebody had told me when I was working in the salon doing nails, they had told me, don't worry about your timing. Your timing will come. Worry about the work that you do. And so that has kind of stuck with me ever since I was young, and I am just trying to make sure that I am putting my best work out there instead of worrying about the time. And I do feel like what she said was right. I do feel like my timing, it did end up coming. I ended up doing nails for, like, it would take like me around 2 hours to maybe 3 if their nails are super, super long. But usually for my clients like that are at this length, it does take me around 2 hours to do. But a reason why I do want to let you guys know why I've been using my file so much is because I have been actually having really bad hand pain. So using my e-file has been like the next best thing for me, just because my hands, they have been cramping so bad from the repetitive motion. I have been doing nails for around 7 years. Some people, it hits them sooner. So something that I do recommend is taking care of your well-being and making sure that you get massages and things like that, just because it does really, really help. I need to keep on getting them. I kind of slowed down this year just because of everything I got going on in my personal life, so that is kind of why I haven't really had time for myself and to go get one of those things. I thought about getting those massage gun things where it, I don't know, like, you guys see them all over TikTok and things like that, but it's like a little handheld thing and it has a ball at the end, and I thought about getting that so I could massage my hands, because my hands, they hurt so bad. So if I'm not able to go and get an actual massage, just doing that I feel like would probably be like the next best thing. Hopefully, let me know if you guys have tried that. I definitely need to get on a subscription for my massages or something like that, just so then it already has it locked in place and then I'm able to go and get them, just because being in pain like how I have been lately, it's no fun. So definitely, if you guys are a young nail tech, make sure you are taking care of yourself, or even if you're a hairstylist watching this. With me, I was in the salon, I was doing hair for a really long time, and even at an early age of doing hair and things like that, I do feel like the work, it gets to you from doing that repetitive motion, and you don't even realize that you're doing it, but you are. And even lately too, I don't know if you guys could see to the left of me in the background, I do have an actual beanie. I had my beanie on my head, but my arm was hurting from placing my elbow and having all of my weight on my elbow while I'm working. So something that I recommend is having like a pad underneath your elbow too, just because it does make it more comfortable for you and it doesn't hurt as bad. So that is something, my spiel of, you know, if you guys are having pain, just definitely take care of it now. Don't wait till later, just because later it has potential to get worse and worse and worse if you don't take care of it. And something that I do also want to let you guys know is sometimes even if your drills are super heavy, that could also be where your hand pain is coming from, because I do notice with me using my Koopa drill, it is a lot lighter in the handpiece for me, or I don't know if it's just the way it's balanced in my hand or what, but the hand pieces for Kiara Sky, I feel like they're so heavy on my hand. I don't know if it's the cord that's really heavy, but it really wears on my hand, and I don't know if it's just because I've been using Koopa for so long though too, but I do feel like Kiara Sky's handpiece is so much heavier for me, and my hand kills me when I have to use the other one. So sometimes my drill will die and I do end up having to pull out the other one. But yeah, you guys, I highly recommend making sure, keep on trying your handpiece and see if you like the weight of it. I definitely recommend getting something that has a good weight to it, so it's like you could kind of feel it in your hand, but not something super heavy where it's weighing down your hand, and like when you're doing your motions and stuff, twisting your wrist and all that, eventually it will get to you, it'll catch up to you. Now I'm going to go ahead and start my hand filing, and I'm just going to go ahead and making sure that I am getting any acrylic that if I did get it on the skin, I like to try to pull away their skin from the side, as you guys see me do in pretty much the last clip, but I will pull their skin back with my thumb, and then I will go ahead and start filing, making sure that the sides are parallel and the edge is straight across. And then something that I also like to do is file underneath the nails. I like to file underneath the nails just because sometimes I do feel like with the C-curve tips, I do feel like it makes it angle downward, and angling downward, I do feel like it makes it look, I don't know, like they have like a curved nail or something, and it does make the nails look a lot thicker to me. So this is just the method that I like doing. Let me know if you guys try it and see if that's something that you guys like. Alright, now it is time to go in with my 180 grit buffer. I love these things. I feel like they get all the scratches out, and especially if you guys are just going to be going in over clear on these ones, I highly recommend getting in 180 sponge buffer. You guys need a sponge buffer. Don't get the 180 grit hand files, just because the hand files, I do feel like they're different. They are a lot softer, but at the same time, I do feel like, I don't know, they just don't get the job done. Like, I feel like these get all in the nooks and crannies, and they really curve to the nail because of that sponge type of buffer that it has. It kind of conforms to the nail when you are buffing. Alright, you guys, I am going to go ahead and start applying my top coat I am looking for like a super glossy top coat with no yellowing and things like that. So this one is a tester. I am not going to be putting it out there of what I am using for the top coat. So I'm so sorry if you guys do end up liking this top coat and how it looks. But I am not going to be mentioning that right now. But I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and to keep the shape, I like to run my fingers along the sides of the nails, making sure I'm getting any of that extra top coat off. And yeah. So now I'm just kind of going around cleaning the cuticles just because there was some dust left in there, and even I went in with my little drill brush and I do feel like it was still in there. So I did feel like doing that. It helped me get all of that little dust out just because I didn't want it to end up being in the top of my top coat and it not looking like a seamless blend. Alright, you guys, let me know what you guys think of these baby shower nails. Should I have added pink or blue on these? My sister, she is having a little baby girl, so she did want something nice and simple that could go with everyday life as well. So that's kind of why we didn't do too much pink and things like that. We just did a very subtle pink, just because my sister, she's not very girly at all, but she did want to have her nails looking nice. Alright, now she's going to go ahead and put that into the lamp for 60 seconds. And here I am checking it out, being all happy because they look so cute. And just the blend and everything I was really happy about, just because I am super crucial with everything. I did end up having to buff the top of that one just because I did feel like there was a fuzz in it. So I went ahead and buffed, and I am going to go ahead and apply another top coat over it. And then she's going to put that into the light, and I'm going to wipe those sides, making sure it keeps the shape nice and sharp, just because you don't want to go in with a super thick viscosity top coat and then it end up making the nails bubble out, and all of that filing and stuff that you did makes it seem like you went in all for nothing. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this cuticle oil on. And I had just started using this cuticle oil. It is a little bit on the runnier side, so if you guys do like that, definitely recommend checking it out. But this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you guys think. Have a great day, and bye-bye.